Hello, my name is Molotov Bees, and welcome to another chaotic, unscripted sketchbook tour. Today is August 1st, but almost everything I'm going to be showing is from the month of June, in which I participated in 4 different art challenges over time, and it was a very chaotic, burnout heavy month, but here we go. So this is my character Molly that I drew, basically an AU psychotic nurse version of. My pose reference was one of the nurses from Silent Hill, and I did digitize this. I'll show that version now, and it turned out pretty good, I think. It was a fun little experimental piece. This was a sketch for a trade. This was a creature mashup for a May Mythical Creatures challenge that one of my friends started about halfway through the month, and every 2 days they would post a new creature mashup challenge. Now this, I ended up doing a goofy little animation of digitally for AniMayte, which I can show that now. I was experimenting with the layer effects for the coloring of the eyes. Overall, it was just a fun little goofy thing to animate. And then MoChu's focus was anatomy, and every day they'd have little challenges. I think I only did the first 5 days of the anatomy quests, but this was day 1. And this was for the initial sketches for an animation trade that I did for AniMayte that I finished on the very last day, about an hour after it was supposed to end. But I still got it done, even if it was an hour late. Some gestures. These are all 3 of the MoChu mascots: ibuprofen and aspirin and IV-chan. Another gesture. I really like how this one turned out. Of course, this is before I got burnt out, so it looks a little better. And chest muscles and bones. Then we've got pelvis, butt muscles, another gesture. Turned out really good. I like the foot. I like how the foot turned out. Camera keeps refocusing, driving me nuts. Some little doodles for AniMayte. This is a Potu and some breed of house cat that I couldn't figure out what it was, but I figured I'd do a silly sketch for mythical May creatures. We've got shoulder bones, neck muscles. Not a great gesture. This is when I'm starting to burn out, and I shouldn't be drawing so big and then still trying to fit everything on the page. Same for this one, except I didn't try to fit everything on the page, but I still drew too big. It's a horse and a great horned owl. Another gesture. Proportions are a bit off, but that's okay. This gesture was really difficult. It's like I haven't done gestures with more than one person in them, and trying to get the scaling correct is just, I don't know, it turned out pretty abysmal. It's like they're at least roughly the same size, but oh, the bow. The bow does not look anything like the reference. I tried. My favorite gesture from MoChu. I absolutely love this. Can you believe that this is in pen? Can't erase pen. I love it. I did not put the chair in here. I was so happy with how she turned out. I didn't want to ruin it by accidentally drawing a chair badly. but she's got her legs up over a chair, and that's why there's some empty spots here to leave room for the lines for the chair. Another gesture. This one's okay, but it was not the greatest day. Alright, I put the most effort into this May Creatures one. A tiger and a spotted eagle ray. It's like, I love how this turned out. Pulling markers in with it turned out really well. I did purple instead of black for the stripes. I do wish that I hadn't brought this up, because it doesn't make any sense. Like, if the back just went down without seeing this part of the, I guess, wing, of the ray, it would look so much better. Because this arm is outstretched. You shouldn't be able to see that. Like, it should be going more down and out. Like, the wing should be following this line, but instead it's coming out here, and it just... Oh, regret. But I can't erase pen and marker. That's okay. I think the challenge was like 2 minutes for this, so I tried putting in lines, like gesture lines for this pose, and it's just awful. Also, she looks like some kind of like demented cartoon witch, but no, sketching in 2 minutes is not my forte. Another gesture with 2 people. I felt like pulling in some markers for these gestures just to, make it more fun, more enjoyable. I was starting to get bored of doing pen drawings. Ended up with short legs trying to fit everything into the page again because I'm drawing too big. You'd think I'd learned my lesson by now, but it's not happening. More markers. And the 26th, I got sick this night, and I broke my drawing streak. It broke my heart, but I caught up on all of the mythical May creatures that I had missed. And I did them all in this night, and it's a good thing I did, because otherwise I wouldn't have done them at all. I had no idea how to combine a bird and a moose, but ornate hawk eagles have this kind of like almost cockatoo-like fluff in their feathers, so I just replaced it with a moose antler because, yeah, I'm having fun. I've got to be silly sometimes. And after I did all those, I completely burnt out, did the worst gesture I've done of the month, and that was the last gesture I did. I died in MoChu, and I got kicked from the server. But that's okay, I was violently sick. And then later, I came back to the sketchbook and did some goofy little drawings. Pigeons and barn swallows. I wanted to draw barn swallows because I actually had a pair of barn swallows that were starting to make a nest under the roof of my back porch, and I was so excited. I can show some pictures of the nest. And that's it for this sketchbook. I only have a few more pages of my beautiful, beautiful smooth paper, so I'll have to find something special to come back to this book with and finish it out. Now, all this time, I was hosting another art challenge, May Flowers. And this was originally the only challenge I was going to do before I found out about MoChu, AniMayte, and mythical May creatures. I've got my test swatch page, and I also used this for bleeding out some of the markers that were overflowing and being goopy. And every day I would literally pull out of a hat, or, well, cauldron in my case, a slip of paper that had the name of a flower on it. Now, I started out doing an undersketch. Let me pull this closer. I started out doing an undersketch in pencil, but it was making it look kind of dirty, I felt like, and kind of not clean. Like this one's a little bit better. I started to paint over the sketch better, but then I just stopped using pencil. And I was thinking it looked way cleaner. This was a burnout day. I was not having it. And I did do a pencil under sketch for this because I wanted to make sure I got the shapes right. And I did end up needing to erase a couple times, but you can still see some of the pencil underneath. And you can tell what days I was more into it or less into it. See, not feeling it this day. Geranium's a pretty good day. And a friend was also doing a kind of like a side quest thing for the flowers where they had their own prompts that we were doing side by side. And this day's happened to be draw your favorite flowers seeds. And geraniums have the coolest seeds. They've got these little fluffs, and it's like a corkscrew spiral on the end of the seed. And geraniums, well, I grew up with them, so I guess they're one of my favorites. So I was like, I'm gonna do it. Yep, and it took me a couple hours to get all of the references compiled so that I could, have everything ready in advance at any given day, since I was doing random draws on these. Yeah, the same friend that had the side-by-side Mayflowers art challenge also suggested adding a southern globe thistle to the mix, and that is just the wildest looking flower to add to the challenge. But it was a good challenge. This is probably my favorite. It looks almost exactly like the photo, and it makes me really happy. Let's start hitting a bit of burnout here. Yeah, still feeling the burnout, but it's coming out okay. I'm getting better at using the acrylic markers. Oh, and there's the 26th again, and then I failed my own challenge. But I came back on the 29th when I was feeling good enough to draw again, and did the ones that I had missed. They didn't turn out too good. I'm still feeling really terrible. It took me about 2 weeks to recover. And then finally drew the extra not a flower day. So we got a frog hiding in a flower and a spider that looks a lot like the flowers he was sitting on. And the very last day, we got hollyhock. And there's still technically 4 pages of sketchbook left, but I just don't have the heart to add anything else to it, so I consider it complete. And then everything else is digital. I lied, I have one more sketchbook. Let's see. Trade. These are some thumbnails for AniMayte. Some concepts for AniMayte. Side quest for AniMayte. More concepts. Serving a bowl of some kind of food. More AniMayte. These are frog anatomy studies for a frog animation I did. So are just goofy little sketches. A gesture. And this is when MoChu started, I believe. Maybe this was day 1, not the other one, but and then more AniMayte. and a gesture. I think this was day 1, yeah. Day 1 gestures. Oh, a little bit out of order, but that's okay. I forgot about this notebook. Okay, so on to everything digital. Again, the digitized AU psychotic nurse version of Molly. And then everything else was for AniMayte. The first big thing that I did, I took one of the sketches of Montgomery, my character from March Hotel. So I took a bunch of frames of real fire, referenced them, and then went back through and made all of the frames smooth. And I think it turned out pretty well. This might be one of my favorites. Not just because it's my character, because it just looks so cool. I used layer effect for coloring of the fire. In reality, it's just one flat color. And one of the side quests for AniMayte was to do a tea or a potion. I tried doing just, a steaming cup of tea, and then tea was way too hard to animate for some reason, and I just couldn't grasp how to make it work. So instead I did a water drop. It was just a potion of summon frog, I suppose. And then I went through, added some flat colors. And then I was going to make the frog more realistic and really up my game, but I only ever did the one frame for it and did other projects in the meantime. This is the May creatures that I animated. It's not much, but it fulfilled my quota for the day. The chamomile took about 10 minutes, and a bigger project that I was working on the side was partially for MoChu, just for funsies, because it's hospital themed and everyone's talking about taking their pills, their ibuprofen and aspirin. So I made a bigger project out of it for AniMayte in spirit of MoChu. So I started out with kind of a heartbeat monitor. It's like I spent probably 2 hours trying to get it to look good, referencing actual heartbeat monitors. And I synced this up to Case Jackal's song, Drugs, Drugs, Drugs. The original song clip that I had planned for it was about 3 times as long as what I ended up with. But animation takes a long time, and working on this filled my quota for quite a few days.
Don't be depressed, we got a pill for that. Might slow you down a tad, but we got a pill for that. Don't be depressed, we got a pill for that. Might slow you down a tad, but we got a pill for that.
And then secretly, I was working on a trade piece for AniMayte that, it was supposed to just be a trade, draw this character. But I decided, well, in the spirit of AniMayte, I'm going to animate this character. So in the end, I ended up with this. I'm sad that I broke my drawing streak. I went 88 days of drawing every single day, but in the end I had to quit because I got violently sick. It's like I could barely take care of myself and my family, let alone find any kind of energy to draw even for a moment. It was really tough to have life kick me in the head like that, but I didn't break my streak due to burnout. I powered through every single day of burnout that I had. I powered through and I got 88 days in a row. That's something I've never achieved before in my life. It's really empowering to know that I can do that, even with all of the other responsibilities that I have. The only thing that got me down was just an illness. It's like I still drew even when I got a cold. Even when I didn't feel good, even when I had migraines, it didn't matter. I still drew. It took being literally bound to the porcelain throne for a couple days to make me break my streak. To anyone out there who's struggling with keeping a streak, it's okay if you need to take a break. If you really need to, it's okay. Today is August 1st, and I have barely drawn for the entirety of July. Sometimes you just need to take a break, and that's okay. I barely drew for the entirety of June and July. I probably said the month of June earlier. Oh well, I can't keep track of time. Life is nuts. Good luck out there. Keep drawing. You've got this.